For almost a year, I've had a lot of fun with the 1-liter Lenovo Tiny PC. I've done a lot of upgrades to this Tiny PC series, using various GPUs and both single-slot and dual-slot low-profile GPUs. I also designed many custom ventilation top covers for specific Tiny PC and GPU models with different styles, even adding fans and LCD screens to make the upgrade project look much cooler. These upgrades really helped me evolve my 3D design skills and required a 3D printer to achieve. Thank you to all my fellow YouTube community members for the feedback. Many viewers love the projects. However, one question keeps coming up. What if I don't have a 3D printer? In response to the viewer who raised this question, today, I'm uploading a video that demonstrates how to upgrade a Lenovo Tiny PC without any custom modification, 3D design, or 3D printer. So now, sit back, relax, and join me as we dive deep into the process of upgrading a Lenovo Tiny PC using all genuine parts from Lenovo. This video utilizes a text-to-speech service. All verbal content reflects my own perspectives and informational data. The integration of text-to-speech service is employed specifically to maximize the clarity and accessibility of this documentary on a global scale. This standardized audio delivery simplifies the process for viewers who wish to translate the content into their respective local languages. To achieve this upgrade on the Lenovo Tiny 5 series PC without any custom modification or a 3D printer, you need to choose the correct two things: the Nvidia Quadro, single-slot low-profile GPU, and the correct Tiny PC model. Models like the Lenovo M920Q and M720Q do not support a GPU installation and lack ventilation on their top cover. However, the Lenovo M920X and Lenovo P330 Tiny do support a 50-watt GPU when paired with a 35-watt CPU and have the necessary ventilation area for a specific single-slot Nvidia Quadro GPU, ranging from the Quadro P620 up to the Nvidia RTX 2000E Ada. These GPUs use a compatible shared GPU bracket for this Tiny PC series. The Lenovo Tiny PC that I have here is a Lenovo ThinkStation P330 Tiny. It's the top model of the Lenovo Tiny 5 series. This model supports a 65-watt CPU, and it supports up to a 50-watt single-slot low-profile GPU when paired with a 35-watt Intel CPU. This PC has a PCIe 3.0 x 8 slot via a proprietary connector. However, if you purchase this PC without a discrete PCIe expansion card, you will most likely receive a unit without the PCIe riser card installed and may instead have the SATA drive kit instead. The Lenovo P330 Tiny comes with a pre-installed chipset heatsink, unlike the M920Q and M720Q. With this model, we have a small ventilation area on the top cover for specific standard Nvidia Quadro single-slot, low-profile GPUs. In this PC upgrade, I prefer CPU power more than GPU, so I will use an Intel Core i7-9700, a 65-watt CPU with 8 cores and 8 threads for the CPU upgrade. For the GPU, I have an Nvidia T400 4GB graphics card. This GPU only has a 30-watt thermal design power, so it will work when paired with a 65-watt CPU in this Tiny PC. If you are familiar with my YouTube channel and have watched my videos before, you'll know that I always design a GPU bracket for this Tiny PC. But this time, we won't need one. Here we have an Nvidia Quadro single-slot, low-profile bracket specifically for the Lenovo Tiny 5 series. And here's the PCIe riser adapter for the Lenovo Tiny 5 series. We need this adapter to install a graphics card on this Tiny PC. The Lenovo P330 Tiny that I have here comes with a 65-watt CPU cooler. The difference between a 35-watt and a 65-watt CPU cooler for this PC model is significant. The 35-watt CPU cooler has a smaller copper heatsink and a plastic fan shroud, and it does not have metal contact with the VRM chips on the motherboard. The 65-watt CPU cooler, however, has a larger heatsink, comes with a stronger CPU fan, and utilizes a metal shroud that makes direct metal contact with the VRM chips on the motherboard. All right, now real quick, let's put all parts together. All right, now the whole upgrade process is complete. Now we have a powerful 1-liter mini workstation, packed with a full desktop-grade CPU, the Intel Core i7-9700, and a 4GB dedicated professional Nvidia workstation GPU, the Nvidia T400. To have all this performance packed into a 1-liter box is quite unbelievable. The maximum wattage supported by the Lenovo P330 Tiny's AC adapter is 135 watts, and here's its original 135-watt AC adapter. Since I've only installed a 30-watt GPU, which has a power draw similar to other expansion cards like a Thunderbolt 3 card or a high-speed SFP 10G network card, I won't need a larger AC adapter for this PC. Now, let's connect the PC to the monitor using the mini DisplayPort to full-size DisplayPort adapter and power the system on to run the CPU and GPU stress tests. First, let's run a CPU stress test using CPU Z to find out how this tiny PC can handle an Intel Core i7-9700. I adjusted the power plan in the PC BIOS to silent mode because in performance mode, the CPU was running at 78 watts and the CPU temperature reached up to 95 degrees Celsius. Surprisingly, there was no CPU power limit or throttling. When I switched the power plan to silent mode, the CPU ran at around 58 watts to 65 watts, and the CPU temperature reached around 85 degrees Celsius. I also ran the Cinebench R23 benchmark. The results showed that the CPU scored 769 points for single-core performance and 7,137 points for multi-core performance. This is lower than the actual desktop running i7-9700, which typically scores around 8,540 points, according to CPU Monkey data, representing a difference of around 16.4%. Now, let's run the GPU stress test with Furmark. The maximum GPU temperature reached 70 degrees Celsius. Since this GPU has a total board power of only 30 watts, we observe no thermal or power overhead in this setup. Now, I'm testing the performance by loading a sample Blender file. I don't quite know how to use Blender yet, but I tried to orbit the 3D model, and as you can see, it's perfectly smooth. Now, let's switch to Fusion 360 Free Edition. I am opening a complex shapefile of the Nvidia RTX 5090 Founders Edition 3D model. As you can see, this tiny PC performs exceptionally well with 3D modeling in Fusion 360. When I zoom in, zoom out, or orbit the model, it remains smooth and shows no lag. Since I have installed an Nvidia Quadro T400 4GB GPU, this PC now has a dedicated GPU, allowing it to handle light gaming. The Nvidia Quadro T400 4GB gaming performance is only slightly faster than the GT 1032GB, and it struggles to handle AAA games at 1080p. However, I did try God of War at 1080p with a low graphics preset and set FSR 2.0 to ultra performance. The gameplay achieved around 50 frames per second. This is certainly not ideal for a hardcore gamer, so I would say this upgrade does not offer a great advantage for gaming. However, it is a huge benefit for productivity tasks, offering high CPU power and a very small footprint, making it great for professional tasks like 3D modeling and any other CAD software. Alright, that is all for the video today. I hope this video gives you an idea of how to choose the right Lenovo Tiny PC and GPU for an upgrade that is straightforward and requires no custom modifications or 3D printing. The PC upgrade offers excellent performance for its intended use cases, such as 3D modeling and CAD work, and it can also handle light gaming with a very small footprint. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.